Well, over the past few weeks, you, our viewers, have been voting for the top news stories of 2015. We've already revealed wildlife culls as the #3 pick. A crisis in our foster care system is #2. But it was drought that you voted as the top newsmaker of the year. This past summer was one of the hottest and driest on record, causing severe water shortages across our south coast and fueling one of the worst wildfire seasons we've had in a decade. At its peak, more than 250 fires were burning province-wide, forcing hundreds of people to leave their homes, and it cost us, taxpayers, more than $287 million. And Kim Stevens thinks that we could be in for another hot, dry summer next year. The executive director of the Partnership for Water Sustainability in BC. Kim, thanks very much for joining us.
My pleasure.
So, how are we looking now after really a fall of a number of storms and low fronts? We seem to have been deluged by rain. There's snow in the interior. How does that bode well for next year, given what we had this year into the summer?
Well, it's a bit too soon to be able to project ahead, because really by about February we have a much better idea of where we're going. But it does raise the bigger issue, in terms of what we've begun to call feast and famine, because we're having these alternating extremes, from very dry, snow droughts to extended summer dry periods, and then followed by deluges, as we've had in the last month.
Mm-hmm. So we know that during the summer we saw restrictions on, or calls for water restrictions, and some of them put in place. But here in Metro Vancouver, please reduce your water usage. We saw the low levels in the reservoirs. What can cities and municipalities practically do to address these concerns about water shortage in the future?
Well, in the short term, it's a matter of managing what we have. Because one of the realities of this part of the world is we're mountainous, and in mountains there's limited opportunities to store water. So essentially what we have is big puddles. And if you think about it, in British Columbia we talk about droughts in terms of months, versus other parts of the world, California, Australia, they talk about it in years. So our challenge always is, how do we make it through a 3-month, a 4-month, a 5-month? And last year we thought we might have a 6-month drought, which would have been unheard of.
Now, there's not much room really to grow or build more reservoirs, at least in and around Metro Vancouver. But you've taken some steps. Speaking of storage, to save rainwater, etc. Your own self. What do you do, and is that practical for most people? What you do?
Yes, I have a rainwater harvesting system. So the water that falls on my rooftop is directed by the gutters into 2 tanks. A total of 18,000 liters, and that water supplies our toilets and our outdoor irrigation usage. And really the best time to install a rainwater harvesting system is at the time of construction. And then really that's the opportunity. In this region, the opportunity is created by redevelopment, because when you're redeveloping, you can get things done correctly.
Kim Stevens, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.